Hi, everybody. Listen, I am so sorry. I did not upload a video last week on my YouTube channel. Last week was really difficult. I was very sick and I needed to address some issues in my life in order to get better. And what happened to me last week is actually the topic of this particular video. I am going to make it up to you. I'm going to do upload two videos to make up for the loss of last week. And so this is the first one for this week. So last week was the 9 nights of the goddess, and the 9 nights of the goddess, also known as Navaratri or sometimes called Navakari, is a time where the energy of the goddess will come down to the earth plane and basically clean up things, clean up negative karma. So for example, the first 3 nights in some Indian traditions, the first 3 nights are dedicated to goddess Durga. She's a warrior goddess. You might have seen her sitting on a lion or a tiger, and she has multiple arms, usually 8 arms with 8 different weapons. So she's a very powerful goddess, and she gets rid of, eradicates negativity and especially demons. And then the next 3 nights are dedicated to goddess Lakshmi, and goddess Lakshmi is the goddess of abundance and prosperity. Money even, and she comes down and eradicates in a very fierce form, right? And she eradicates what we call poverty consciousness. So that's her job for those next 3 nights. And then the last 3 nights of the 9 nights of the goddess are Sarasvati. Sarasvati is the goddess of education, of wisdom, of intelligence, higher consciousness. And she's also a patron of the arts as well. She's a goddess of the arts of all kinds. And so she gets rid of any kind of, negative karma that affects our consciousness so that we can, reach higher levels. So that's her goal. So these 3 goddesses, Durga, Lakshmi, and Sarasvati, are all wives of the 3 supreme beings in Indian cultures called, Shiva, Vishnu, and Brahma, sorry. Anyway, so that's what happens. And this is this 9 nights of the goddess happens at least twice a year. Sometimes it's more, but it's usually when the summertime gives way to the fall. And it also occurs when the winter gives way to spring. So it's like the cleaning up thing. So, when you hear about cleaning up for the spring, let's do the spring, what do they call it? Spring cleaning? Yeah. So that's very much a goddess energy, right? Because sometimes we're cleaning things out, getting rid of things that we no longer want or need, dusting things, reorganizing stuff. So that's where that comes from. So anyway, so last week, what I decided to do, I was going to, worship all 3 goddesses, which I did in some form or fashion. And I started off with Durga. Durga is the warrior goddess. And, as I described to you before, you can look up her images on a Google search. And you can see what she looks like. And so, I have a small Durga statue. It's made of brass. And this is actually the first time that I've used a statue where I poured water. I do a hydration ritual that I've discussed in other videos, where I poured water on her statue as well as honey for the first couple of nights of Durga. Well, what happened was that there was this really heavy oppressive energy that just came down. I mean, there were decisions that I had to make. One in particular, as you know, I work for the Pillai Center, which I love. And I realized that there were certain tasks that I was doing that I just didn't like to do anymore. Like I knew about it, but I was accepting it, right? I was like, this is not my favorite thing to do, but I'll do it. And then it became really clear to me after the first night, I cannot do this anymore. I mean, that's what the energy felt like, but it also felt very heavy. Second night, same thing. It just became really clear that you've got to change this. So the 3rd night of the goddess Durga, I started to experience a health issue. So, and one of the things that, again, she was showing me, you have to address this. It's time for you to deal with this. You can't continue the way that you're continuing. And which was great because I did deal with it. I was sick. I wasn't able to function. I couldn't work. And that's a lot of work hours I just couldn't do last week. And, thank God Pillai Center is very loving and compassionate. And they said, hey, take the time that you need to get better. So nothing wrong on that end. But it was difficult. I mean, I had to just rest, drink lots of liquids, that kind of thing. And what it taught me is, well, something that happens a lot when, I'm a Facebook manager of Pali Center's community groups. And, people will often say, they don't say it all the time, but they say it enough. I've been chanting this mantra. Usually they're talking about Shrim Brazi or some other mantra, and nothing's changed. Nothing's happening. Nothing is going on. Or they will say that, actually what they would say is that something negative happened. I chanted this mantra, I lost my job, and I'd have to explain to them, well, okay, it's not that the mantra is made you lose your job. That's not how the mantra works, And remember that the mantras are connected to gods and goddesses. They are always on your side, especially the ones that Dr. Pillai introduces, to the world. They are always on our side. So they're not trying to cut us off at the legs, oh, you're going to chant my mantra, let's just cut you off at the legs and see, for fun. No, they don't do that. Okay. They're very compassionate. The way I like to look at things is that karma is like a garden. Okay. Think that you have a patch of land somewhere and you want to beautify it. You have flowers, you're growing growing plants and, beautiful trees and things of that nature. Right. So when we chant mantras, that's the mantra part. We are planting seeds. Often there are actually seed mantras, bija mantras as they're called. And the longer we chant, they grow. Same with the garden. You plant your seeds. Hopefully, you have the right soil. You're watering it, how often it needs to be watered. You're taking care of it and they grow. Well, that's great. But sometimes in our gardens, we are not paying attention to the weeds and the pests. What happens when weeds grow? They can overgrow our plants and our crops or whatever it is that we're growing, right? Pests can eat away, they can be insects or animals or whatever it is. They're coming in and they're invading our garden. And so that is what I would call negative karma. So in our garden, we have the good things that are going on, but we also have the negative karma that's holding us back. That's really preventing things from flourishing. And when the gods and the goddesses come into your life through the mantras, it's like, okay, well, we can help you, get rid of the negative karma, but look, and they'll pull something up and show it to you. Look, this is a weed. You've got to deal with this. So that was my experience last week. It was difficult. It wasn't easy at all. It didn't feel good. But I had faith that and I knew within my heart, the goddess is telling me it is time to deal with this. It is time, Rose, to take care of yourself. It's time, Shakti, that takes care of Shakti. The Shakti is always there for other people, but rarely am I there for myself. So now I have to learn that at the blessed age of 48. And then also, it's saying, you've been accepting that this is there. You've seen that it's there, but you're not doing anything about it. You got to do something about it. So I just want to say that to provide something for you in terms of, like the title of this video is something like what? Sometimes karma blows, but just keep your faith and keep chanting. It will calm down. Okay. If you were chanting a mantra and for a couple of weeks or so and something major happens and it's, it feels difficult, just understand that is the god or the goddess, especially if it's something like Shrim Brazi. If you're chanting the mantra Shrim Brazi, it is the goddess's way of telling you, this is not working for you. It's not that she wanted you to lose your job or she made you lose your job. That was already a part of your karmic destiny. As a matter of fact, I heard a great saying or teaching from Dr. Pillai that, chanting a mantra will help you to lose your hat, but not your head. So in other words, something was coming anyway. And the mantra tries to buffer the impact of what's coming. But understand that, it's better to lose your hat than your head, right? So sometimes that happens, but keep the faith, keep chanting the mantra, keep praying to the gods and goddesses. They are really on your side. They're not here to harm you or to create destruction. They are here to honestly help you. So that's my advice for today. That was from my lesson of last week, and hopefully this provides something for you. Please subscribe to my channel, share this video, share the love. Someone needs to hear this out there, so be sure to share it. And then also like it too, like my video. So I like it when you do that. If you have any questions or comments, please do not hesitate to write a comment. God bless you guys all, and may the goddess energy continue bringing you wonderful things and wonderful abundances in your life, and also helping you to deal with your karmic issues. Namaste.